Hello and welcome. My name is Graz, and this character you see here is named Rimler. That's right, his name is Rimler. And as you already know, this video is on Arcane Mages. Now, some people are already screaming at their monitor, spam Arcane Blast. And yes, that is true, you will be spamming Arcane Blast. There's a little bit more involved, and I'm going to try to explain on that in this video. Now, Arcane Mages have two different phases, a burn phase and a conservation phase. Their burn phase consists of Arcane Blast. You're going to spam Arcane Blast until you reach 35% of your mana base, so you're going to be using it a lot. Now, once you reach 35%, you're going to use Evocation to get back close to 100% of your mana. And once you get there, that's when your second phase begins. The conservation phase basically consists of anywhere between 3 to 5 Arcane Blast followed by Arcane Missiles. Arcane Missiles is a proc, so you could have to use anywhere between 3 to 5 Arcane Blasts to get it. And that's pretty much your whole conservation phase is between Arcane Blast and Arcane Missiles. You'll want to keep using that until your Evocation comes off a cooldown. That's when you can go back to using the burn phase once again. Now, the only time you should have to go through these two phases is during a boss battle. Through trash packs and other fights, you really won't be using all your mana up, as Arcane Blast will be hitting too hard by then, and there should be no real need. There should be no real reason why you would burn all that mana. Now, two buffs you should have up at all times are Arcane Brilliance and Mage Armor. Mage Armor is going to increase your base mana regeneration by 3%, and Arcane Brilliance, well, by increasing your intellect, you're increasing damage. It's a buff that should be up at all times, so there should be no question about that. Now, this video is being made before patch 4.2. Some changes are going to happen. Arcane Blast is going to get tweaked a little bit, but in the end, I don't think it's going to be anything major. It'll still be fun to play an Arcane Mage, and basically, in the end of the day, the only thing that's really going to happen is maybe a couple steps back in the DPS meters. We're not going to be last, it's not going to hurt a lot, and maybe in some ways it's probably for the best. In the end, we'll see. Well, I wish I could say this is my spec, but unfortunately it's not. This was taken from a raider in a raiding guild, and as you can see, it's pretty well established. Now, since my mage is so low, I'm hoping to get there at some point. This just gives you one idea of what an arcane build looks like. You can check the links below to see more information, to tweak it to your variation or however you want to play. I'm sure there's different builds for PvP spec and whatnot, and unfortunately I can't give you an idea since I really don't PvP. Now, when you get to a boss battle, you're going to want to use Conjure Mana Gem. Why? Because using Conjure Mana Gem, you're going to receive a gem with 3 charges. These 3 charges are going to restore part of your mana. When you enter your burn phase, you're going to want to keep using this gem to keep up your mana, as it's going to keep you in the burn phase a while longer. By doing that, it is going to be a DPS boost, so all in all, it's definitely a good thing. Give you an idea of some of the glyphs you should have toward the end. Now, prime glyphs are Mage Armor, Arcane Blast, and Arcane Missiles. For your major glyphs, you're going to want to have at least Arcane Power and Evocation. The third glyph can be really your choice. And as for minor glyphs, have Mirror Image and Conjuring. Once again, the third glyph is really your choice. Stats that you should be looking for, first and foremost, is Intellect. Intellect equals more damage. More damage is a good thing. So, no brainer right there. Intellect, at the end of the day, tops all. Second, hit chance. You want to get your hit up to about 17%. That's the cap. Anything over that cap is completely useless. So second, get your hit to about 17%. Third is really a three-way race between haste, crit, and mastery, and that's pretty much going to be dictated by gear. I have never seen a set in stone situation for that. I've seen a couple websites say it pretty much depends on gear, and it's really true. I like mastery, but in the end, you got to go with what you can get, and that's all really gear dependent. I, like some other people, really can't give you a set in stone situation for that. So just go with the flow. Now, I want to take the time to point out one ability is Focus Magic. Now, Focus Magic is going to increase the target's chance to critically hit with spells by 3% for 30 minutes. But this is an ability that you can't cast on yourself. It's really something you have to cast on a group mate. Now, whichever group mate you cast it on, you can cast it on a fellow spellcaster, you can cast it on a healer. That's really up to preference unless the person asks for it. 9 times out of 10 I would cast it on the healer. I think it's more beneficial that way, unless we're going through a rough time and we need a DPS boost, so I would try to help out a fellow caster. It's really situational unless somebody asks for it. Everyone has their preferences. I simply go with the healer 9 times out of 10. Now, while you're going solo, 2 abilities you'll want to remember are Mana Shield and Frost Shield. You have to know, mages are glass cannons. We deal a lot of damage, but at the same time, we go down quite easy, hence the name glass cannons. It doesn't matter what spec you're going to be, arcane, frost, or fire. If you're in trouble, remember your shields. It's really up to you which one you choose. At this point, I'm kind of fond of Mana Shield. Frost Shield is good too if you're trying to get away. Just remember, don't forget your shields. You don't want to be 3 or 4 shotted because you pulled too many mobs and you can't blink away fast enough or you can't get away in time. Definitely, we don't take much damage. We are glass cannons. But hey, it is fun. Now, there's a lot more information out there. I suggest you take a look around, see what you can find. Places like elitistjerks.com are full of information. It's always a fun place to go and take a look at and find out more info. So just take a look around. This video was basically a touch-up. It's not the end-all be-all. It just gives you an idea of the basics of an Arcane Mage. Now, I'm sure some are still shouting, spam Arcane Blast, and as you've already heard, part of that is basically what you're doing. But at the same time, there's a little more depth to it, and it's definitely fun. So, take a look around, find out more information, go out and have a blast. Now, I'm going to wrap this video up with about 5 more minutes of me just goofing off. If you choose to watch, then I'm glad. Other than that, if you choose to go, I'm glad you took the time to watch this video, and hopefully I will see you around next time.